Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Frantic Talks podcast, episode 12. I am Frantic, and with me, as always, is my lovely co host.
Grunt.
And we are here once again to talk about video games and junk. So, I hope everybody had a wonderful past week. The Super Bowl was this past weekend, and we. Did you see who won, Grunt?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Spoiler alert if somehow you have yet to hear or are waiting to see. The Broncos ended up winning. The final score was 24-10, if I remember correctly.
I think so, yeah.
So the Madden prediction of the score 24-20 win going to the Panthers was not correct. They did, however, get the 24 correct. So that's
Uh,
unfortunate, but
Partial credit, but, I mean, you let me down, EA.
so we got a decent bunch of stuff to talk about. There isn't really anything in the news that much this week. If there is, we missed it. But looking over our sources, we didn't find anything. I do want to talk about something really quick off topic from video games. I went and saw Deadpool this past Thursday night, so about 2 nights ago, not even 48 hours ago. If you're interested in seeing the movie and you like Deadpool in any way whatsoever, I would definitely recommend it. It was very funny. I had a lot of fun watching it. It's very, very obscene, which you probably expect from it if you know who Deadpool is. But yeah, it's pretty gruesome, and there's a lot of f bombs. There's a lot of bad stuff. But anyways, um, it's just fun. I would totally go see it again if I got the chance. I probably won't go see it again, but like I said, go check it out. Stay for the credits. There's a bunch of really funny animations right at the beginning when they're showing the like the main cast and stuff, and then when it gets to the very end of the credits, like the after scene, there's technically two scenes, but it's so quick that you won't even notice that they changed scenes or that there is a second scene. What he does, they parody Ferris Bueller's "Hey, what are you still doing here? Go home. The movie's over." But he says a couple other things as well, so it's really funny.
and thank you, Twitter, for spoiling that part for me. Not like I wanted to see the movie or anything, you know?
Yeah, so beware of spoilers. I don't think there's very much in terms of like it's not like Star Wars level spoilers where I'm not going to talk about Star Wars spoilers, but it's not that big of a spoiler what actually happens in the movie.
Right.
I think you see it more for the humor. So,
Yeah.
anyways, if this is your first time listening to the podcast or watching it, this is our third episode. Yeah, technically third episode where we've gone into video and are showing you our lovely faces and rooms that we tend to be in. I know I'm in this room and I play games. I don't know about you, Grunt.
Yep. Yep. That poster behind me, I have a Destiny Fallen captain watching over me every time I play.
I got
And then the
Joker
Chief
back
over
there.
here behind me from
Yeah,
Halo 3.
yeah. My chief is up here. You can't actually. I have two of them. You can't see them. Uh, there's Captain
Actually, no,
America
I,
there.
I can't see them.
Oh, you can. No, no, no. I got Joker behind me along with. Let's see if I can move my head the right way. Bunch of Arkham City stuff. It's all Joker. And if you're listening to this, you should watch the video. All right.
Yeah,
Anyways,
we
let's.
swear we're not insane by saying and randomly pointing to stuff behind us,
Yeah,
but
we're really not. You can see all this on our YouTube channel, which doesn't have an official tag yet. It just kind of exists because I need 100 subscribers. So you can find it on the Frantic Talks website, which is just frantictalks.com. Uh, I guess we'll just throw out Twitter already. I'm at FranticJ3. He is at Onyx Spartan. Onyx spelled Onyx. Spartan spelled like you'd spell it. And you can find us there on our website. We also have a Facebook, which is facebook.com/Frantic Talks, all one word. And then you can watch this live every Saturday at 3 p.m. on twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third.
third
Because some asshole.
or third, whichever.
I say it every episode that some asshole took the. So I
It's
should
because
probably.
it's the truth.
It
It's the
really is.
truth.
It really is. Anyways, well, speaking of games we play, let's jump right into the first thing on my list. I have the Bungie update. Last week we talked a whole bunch about Bungie because it was literally all we had done that week. It wasn't necessarily everything we did this week, but it was still a lot because Crimson Doubles are a thing. Um, I accidentally have the Halo update showing in the background. We're going to change that to the Bungie update. Whoopsies. Anyways, the Bungie update. So there wasn't much that was said in this update in terms of what's going to be happening besides, hey, the Crimson Doubles are here, and they're going to be giving us some really cool, or they're going to give us one of the shells that drops from the playlist at 320, which some people are upset about and some people are really happy about. I am, for one, on the happy side because, one, I have a chance to get the chocolate shell at 320, and two, I need a 320 shell. Other people, I'm pretty sure, are upset for one main reason, and that main reason to me is that they spent so much time getting that final 320 drop to make sure their light level was 320, which, if I'm not mistaken, the ghost was the hardest one to fill out, right?
It normally was because you can get a ghost from I think trials. You can get it from the hard mode of the King's Fall raid. Iron Banner I think can drop 320 ghost, or you just have to somehow get drops to infuse your ghost up there. But yeah, it's definitely one of the harder things to come across, I think.
Right, so hearing those things, it's definitely the harder things in the game. Versus
Yeah.
Crimson Doubles just being literally 2v2 on, it doesn't matter what your life level is. Or your light level, I said life level. It's just 2v2. You got to play 7 games, I think is what they said. Let me see if I can find it back here, but it's literally.
Yeah, it's 7 games. Complete 7 games, no suiciding. So, play legitimately.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It makes me curious as to why they mentioned that specifically, but
I think it's like right in this area. Anyways, that's what's going to be happening. So a lot of people were upset, a lot of people were happy, and I'm sure there are people in between like, yeah, I really want that 320 ghost, but at the same time, no. I definitely just want the chocolate ghost. I have a 315 chocolate ghost, so if I get a 320 crimson ghost, because we've definitely played 7 games. I actually was keeping track of all the games that we had played, and I stopped on day 2, and we played even more after that, but easily like 50 plus games at this point. We've played a lot.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, you can add like 15 plus, but probably about another 20 games on day 3.
Oh,
Freak
yep.
Show and I played that. We had like a 7 game winning streak going on. Then we came across the really laggy match, and
That's how it goes.
yeah,
Our longest win streak that I'd recorded was 9 games in a row. So if you can beat that, let us know.
yes, I'd
But,
be interested.
so yeah, that was what we. That's how we got all these drops. Freak Show managed to get the 320 chocolate shell, which made me so upset.
Oh, was it chocolate or was it crimson?
I could have sworn he got it. No, he got. I think he got crimson and then infused the
Yeah, I think you
chocolate
got
one to
crimson.
319.
Yeah, because I was playing with Grunt Dad, helping him
Hmm.
get some of his calcified fragments he needs for his Touch of Malice, and Freak Show equipped the one Crimson Shell, and for like the next 20 minutes, he's like, "It has hearts! It has hearts! Oh my god, this thing is ugly!"
Yeah, I know you got the first drop out of all of us at a 293 Crimson Shell, so you got to experience that first if you equipped it. I don't know if you did though.
Yeah. Like I said, I'd still totally buy one of those things.
I I seriously think that either so there was 2 things I thought about this. 2, if you can see my hands. 2 that I thought about this. First off, I figured it was a really just it was cool because chocolate shell looks awesome. The second thing I thought was this is definitely a way for them to figure out how to sell us ghost candy, and it's definitely like you're gonna get a chocolate ghost, so you would have like a I don't know like a little pack of just like M&Ms essentially, but ghosts, and then the same thing, but imagine it like Skittles, and it would be the crimson one. You know what I mean? I
Oh, I'd buy a package of each.
Yeah, exactly. I would too. And I think what they're doing is, I would think this is a way for them to judge how popular the shells are. And if everyone wants one, it's like, man, we should probably sell candy like this.
Oh
It's
yeah,
not
heck,
far fetched in my mind. I think they should totally do it. It would sell
oh,
decently in my mind, but
oh
uh,
yeah. I mean,
only time will tell.
look at the plush ghosts they sold.
Oh
Those
yeah,
sold out like 3 or 4 times.
it,
Same with the engrams that they had. Those I think are sold out right now.
yeah, exactly.
So
It's
stuff like
definitely
that would
something they should do.
definitely sell.
Yeah. So get on it, Bungie, is what we're trying to tell you. Other than that and the update, I don't think they really mentioned anything else besides that they're going to have spring content that they've just alluded to, or
Yeah,
basically PvE content that has been said as PvE content. They haven't said nothing else.
nope. Uh, Prior to the holiday break, we mentioned a second, larger update slated for spring. That content release will feature a significant light increase, a bunch of new gear to earn and equip, new challenges for PvE, sorry,
You're good.
It's been a while since I've actually had to say PvE in an update. Wow. New challenges for PvE players seeking some more fun experiences and replayability. Beyond that, the team is focused on delivering a large expansion later this year and a full Destiny sequel in 2017.
Wonderful.
And
So,
I forgot to do my Shaxx voice.
I can't do
Yeah,
it. Drawing a blank. Anyways, that's okay.
I have nothing to.
Nothing to
Thanks
do with
for your
it.
patience and thanks for playing, Guardian. There we go.
Surprisingly accurate. Like I can't do that, but Um. Yeah.
I've
Other than
been
that,
studying.
they talked about the Crimson bounties, how they weren't able to reset, what'll happen to your Crimson stuff besides the ghost shells, and then they have the community stuff as usual, which I have actually yet to watch. Have you watched them?
I normally don't. I know I'm a bad community member.
Mm,
I watched the ones last week. Kind of interested in seeing the Destiny Old Spice parody.
yeah, that
But I'm
looks
also
interesting.
kind of afraid that I'm gonna be scarred for life.
That is very possible. So yeah, you can head to the Bungie website. It'll be at the very top. It's got a picture of Cade bending over a map, essentially, or leaning over a map. Just click on the picture, you'll get there. Let's move on to our other update we always talk about on this podcast, the Halo community update. And this one is very interesting because it's kind of reminiscent of the Bungie one in terms of Crimson Days. They are doing a Valentine's Day 2v2 playlist. That's not saying they're
Have,
copying them. I think it just makes sense that they should do it. I'm not
oh,
trying
they've
to accuse them.
ever since the days of Halo 3, they've always done something like that. So
Yeah, so you could
it's kind of like
say,
a
yeah,
it's kind of like a Halo tradition.
yeah, it's definitely. And Bungie made Halo, so whatever. Um, anyways, what we're trying to say is they're doing a 2v2 Social Slayer playlist, so there's no ranking to it at all. There's custom theme maps, and if you're watching on the stream right now, you can see one screenshot of a very pink breakout map with hearts all over it, which is cool. It
Oh
is
my god.
it is going to definitely bring out the hatred of some people who are too manly to play on a map like that, which is okay because they should grow up. But anyways,
Different
um,
subject.
totally different subject. Nonetheless, it's 2v2. You've played to 30 kills, and you start with the Halo 2 battle rifle, so that should be interesting. I have yet to actually use the Halo 2 battle rifle in Halo 4, or Halo, why did I say Halo 4? In Halo 5 since they released it, which I'm kind of upset about, which I honestly think we should jump on and play this here soon. Because it's only going to be
Yeah.
there for the weekend, it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, also, in the last podcast, I definitely made it sound like there's a weird love triangle going on between Grunt, I, and Freak Show, and I'm totally fine with that.
Oh yeah.
I think Freak Show's the one that's upset about that. Also, we're gonna say his name a lot because he's literally been the third person on our uh, in our team this past 2 weeks. So shout out to him and anyone who's listening. He is just some guy we know, so you can deal with it. He might show up on here. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, so the double date.
Now you're giving him a hope. You're
Oh
giving
yeah,
him
I'm
a
giving
hope.
him
Stop
hope.
that.
No, I want to smash the hope after he. Never mind. The update goes on to mention the new game mode of Griffball, which is where Grunt and I originally met is what I
Meant?
said. Yeah, it's what we met. That's where Grunt and I met, and that's actually where we met Freak Show as well. So Griffball is finally coming to Halo 5, which is pretty cool. They're going to do it in a
Finally.
playlist, if I'm not mistaken, which
Oh
would be
really?
sweet. I think so. That's what I'd heard.
Mm,
It adds
yeah.
custom game options at minimum.
Yeah. I kind of fell out of the Griffball news loop after it was gone for like 6+ months.
That's supposed to be
So
until, yeah, it's been gone for a while, which is unfortunate because it was a really good community. But again, that's another topic. Moving on to the next point, they also are including Fiesta Slayer, which I know we had mentioned we wanted to do, right?
yeah,
I
I'm
love
actually
Fiesta
pretty
Slayer.
curious to see how that'll play out because I loved Fiesta back in the previous games. How you could spawn with a plasma pistol and then switch to your other weapon and you get a rocket launcher or you know plasma pistol and a magnum.
Yeah,
Noob combo for days.
I'm excited for that. I hope they do it in a playlist. I don't see anything saying that they're going to be in playlists, but that might have been in a video and I missed it. I'd heard
Yeah,
Griffball was going to be in a playlist, so.
yeah.
Next part, they talk about uh, literally it just says combat zone concepts, which brings a new map and the picture is seen on screen if you can see it. If not, it's like a UNSC space station. That's about all I can tell you.
Map is named Torque.
Yep, the
Torque.
map is named Torque, and it says join them for their live gameplay premiere like normal soon. It says a few weeks, so I don't know a date on it. If you're looking for a date, you probably have to wait. uh,
Oh, I would imagine in a few weeks.
yeah,
I don't know. Depends what this is slated for. If it's like
is it like
part
a
of this
March update?
update or part of next month's update, it'll probably be like towards
No,
the end of
it's the
March.
February update.
All right, well then
It should be at the end of the month.
they have a habit of having their uh, reveal streams on Fridays, so
Yeah,
keep an eye out for Fridays, folks.
yeah, definitely for Fridays. It'll probably be 2 weeks from yesterday, since today is Saturday when we recorded this.
Yeah,
Uh,
watch them
anyways,
have it on Tuesday now.
oh, they're gonna fuck with us. Yeah. Ooh, excuse me. So the Halo 5 Hammerstorm update is what is this whole community update is about, and that's got the arena map Torque, Griffball, Assault, Fiesta. It's got 2 new armor sets that aren't really. There's no real way to explain how they look besides trying to describe them word for like curve by curve. So they look interesting. I'm not a fan of either of them, but I don't hate them. So they just look interesting if you want to go look at them. It's on the stream screen right now at this point, or you can go to the Waypoint site and look for their community update. After that, it adds in a grav hammer. It kind of shows off a stance where you're holding a hammer and a couple other random emblems. The DMR at a legendary. That's interesting. A legendary DMR. Sorry, I kind of like stopped talking in the middle of that. And then it's got
I'm
everything else blurred out. So
Yeah, I'm looking at the top row, and it looks
mhm.
like they have a new skin coming. It looks like it's orange and white.
Yeah, it looks like a creamsicle.
Ooh,
Now I want a creamsicle.
yeah, so do I.
They also mentioned that they added more colors to your color choices for like armor and emblem colors. So that's cool. It's kind of weird that it took that long to add more colors. But hey, what do I know? I guess they just did figure out that the blue team was winning in terms of being color advantaged last week. So they probably looked into the
Yep,
color schemes.
we should make blue more blue.
Yeah, that's
Red needs to be red. It
that's what
is
they did.
red.
Yeah, there are now 60 colors compared to the original 32 that we had. So that's cool. Um, Hopefully I'll play around with that. Who knows? And then my next bit, we've actually mentioned this before. We're excited for Rocket League to come to the Xbox, which
Wednesday,
is
Wednesday,
Wednesday,
the
this coming
17th.
Wednesday. It'll be on the Xbox One. I have been playing it on PC. I've played it on PlayStation a little bit at a friend's house, and I play a lot on PC. It is one of the best games ever in my mind. It is just so much fun. I actually rewarded it one of the Game of the Year awards from last year because we had a couple. We picked out like 3 games we thought were the greatest of are in our minds that year, and I picked Rocket League as one of them just because of how good it was.
Yeah, I've seen several like Let's Play type videos from it and other various videos from the Rocket League community, and it looks really fun.
Hmm.
I am definitely excited to play it.
And why
So
this is
much,
oh,
so
sorry,
much so, so much so that it's even my first game I bought and pre-ordered digitally because
yeah.
it's the only way I think you can get it. But
Also, I think that's true. Why this is relevant to Halo though is that one of the cars that you can get is the Warthog, uh, which is exclusive to Xbox only, which makes sense, and that's awesome. I'm
it'd be kind of
excited.
awkward to have PS4 players playing with a Warthog. But
Yes, it would.
I know a
Although
lot of people that played on the Xbox and then moved to the PS4 when it came out. So
that was a lot of my friends. I did, if I remember correctly, though, you can get into like a via matchmaking. I'm pretty sure you can play against like people on PC. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure PlayStation 4 and
uh,
PC do have matchmaking together. It just kind of picks. I'd
yeah,
have to
I
research
know
that.
there was some huge argument amongst everyone why crossplay between Xbox and PS4 wasn't a thing, but
Hmm.
that's all I can remember from it. So
Yeah, I think that's a thing. Also, the other vehicle, there's actually 2 exclusive Xbox One vehicles. The
oh,
Armadillo
can I
from
guess?
Gears of War. Well, I
Never
already
mind.
said it. What were you gonna guess?
Never mind. Ruining my fun over here.
I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But anyways, it is the armadillo from Gears of War. It doesn't have a picture on the update, so I can't show you. Also, I don't even know what that is. I've played Gears like
Yeah,
once.
I played through the first game several times, and then the second one like halfway through it. Then I quit playing.
Hmm.
Then I bought then I bought the remaining games for like $10 at GameStop one day because they were cheap. So why not? And I have yet to play them, but I have no idea what the armadillo looks like either. So
I could always Google it while we're on the stream. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'll look it
you
up
get
later.
pictures of actual armadillos.
Yeah, I'm afraid of that, or something worse.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know what it would
Ugh.
be, but I don't want to find out. Anyways, next to this, the community spotlight, and Grunt and I were laughing really hard about what is this like first thing in the spotlight, and it's called Flapjack Frenzy. So we predicted back when they released the Forge update that someone was going to come up with something stupid crazy, and it was because of how in depth you can be with Forge, and we've mentioned it before how we're already impressed with the fact that they can literally recreate maps down to like the color scheme almost.
The geometry even of the map.
Yeah, they can
Like
like the geometry of the ground, not like your typical oh here's a square I've made a triangle type thing where you can create flat grounds. No, they can literally manipulate the actual ground in the game, and they've
yeah,
done that, and it's amazing. So what this guy decided to do was not do any of that, but instead turn banshees into spatulas and warthogs into pancakes, and get a big old skillet to where the banshees have to try and flip the warthogs off of the map. And if that sounds insane, you're right, because it is. You just need
it
to watch the video. It is unbelievable. I'm not going to play it on the stream because it'll probably lag or get really bad looking. Um, but it is quite possibly the funniest thing I've ever seen. um,
it yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you when I saw the video because I saw Frantic's reaction to it, and I'm like, this has got to be something absurd for him to have that kind of reaction. I just started watching. I'm like,
you
all
just
right,
you don't know what
that
to
was
say.
it. That was it. I could not figure out what to say. No,
It is very unique, very interesting, and I kind of want to play it. Actually, I really want to play it because it is just nuts how he's able to like glue spatulas to the head of a banshee. I don't know how this works. I never
duct
will
tape
know.
fixes everything.
He clearly just duct taped them in the game. So it is impressive. You should go check it out. It's called Flapjack Frenzy by Splinter BL. It is on the community update, or you can head to the probably find it on YouTube. So the next thing, actually, the next two videos you can't actually see as of right now. The YouTube videos links are broken. So there was something called Reaper, and apparently they got creeped out and laughed hysterically, but we can't watch it. And then the play of the week doesn't work either. So unfortunately, we couldn't fill you in on those. Um, just check out that Flapjack Frenzy. It's hilarious.
That's yeah. That's pretty much all you need to pay attention to. Sorry,
Yeah.
other people that were featured, but you can't beat flapjacks.
So the next thing that we were going to talk about is something that started as a joke, but is totally happening now in about the funniest way I can imagine. Well, I guess it's not the funniest, but whatever. We just recently got our Black Spindles in Destiny. The Black Spindle is a sniper in the game that's an exotic sniper that basically, if you just continue to hit critical shots, will just automatically reload without having to reload. So you can kind of just infinitely shoot until you're out of ammo. It's really
Yeah,
helpful in the raid because the bosses kind of just stand there and shoot stuff at you, and you're invincible during the time they're shooting at you. So as long as you can hit a crit constantly, you'll take down their health pretty quickly because you don't have to wait to reload. Which we proved by doing two raid bosses in one try using Black Spindles on the last one we did, which was really
yeah,
dumb. Actually, it might have been three because technically the sisters, but whatever. It was kind of
uh,
hilarious how quickly we did it.
yeah. I think people switched off of their black spindles for that though, and those that had touch of malice is
Oh, that would have
not
made more.
me.
Yeah. Anyways, if none of this makes sense, it's okay. Just understand that the Black Spindle, which was this sniper, is kind of hard to get. You have to wait for a daily heroic mission to show up, and then you have
Lost
to.
to light.
It's called Lost to Light. You have to basically you just hop on the ship that what's his name Tanix was on. If you know who he is. If you don't, he's this big scary dude, and he has a ship. Basically, is the best way I can describe it. You hop onto his ship and learn that the
Taken.
Taken, which are the new enemies. They're all over the ship now. Oh, surprise, surprise. So you just have to kill them in 10 minutes. The catch is it's really hard to kill them in 10 minutes. It's just there's so much crap at the end that you have to fight. So we did it in literally just 2 tries, and it's something that people look for like guides and look for people to carry them through because it's very hard to do. And we did it in 2 tries, and Freak Show made the joke that we should write a how-to. And so Grunt was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna do that." And it has started doing that. I don't know how far along it is. I've seen screenshots of some of the bits, but I know that he has started a how-to on it.
I should, if I can work on it over this weekend, I should, by the start of next week, be moving on to the actual tactics and tips of the mission because I'm just wrapping up the uh, specific perks to use for each class, which subclass for each character works the best, and then which weapons uh, are preferred, but they're not necessary. If you have them, definitely use them. So I'm hoping maybe by the end of next week I can have it finished.
Which would be really cool. And I don't know if we're going to publish that on Frantic Talks or not. I think we probably will because it's very interesting. And if you want to do something different with it, it's completely up to you.
I honestly had no idea where I was going to publish it, so.
Well, that brings me to 2 things. First thing, on Reddit, I think literally the day after you mentioned, or Freak Show mentioned that and you started writing it, I found a thread on the Destiny subreddit of a guy talking about how he's done it 20 plus times and helping people and knows the best way to do it. So I was like, wow, that's very relative to what has just happened.
Yeah.
But oh, sorry.
Uh, the I'll finish after you're done because
Okay.
it's numbered, so it's important.
Yeah, I was going to say the second thing it got me thinking about our future content, which is something we're going to talk about here very shortly, literally in the next couple minutes. So um, we can put a bookmark there really quick. What were you going to say?
Um, the whole way this started as a joke is I was browsing the Bungie forums and someone typed up a guide of how he gets it. It kind of almost sounds like it
It
may have
might have
been the
been the
same
same thing. Like he probably just
person
double
that.
posted.
Yeah, because he says he's carried people through it and all that. But it
Hmm.
came out the day after posted it on the Bungie forums the day after the daily mission was actually the Black Spindle, so it was a day late.
Hmm.
Um, and I tweeted to Freak Show and Frantic saying, "Hey, where was this when we needed it?" Well, then the whole conversation got going, and
Yeah, we can
Freak
write
Show
up how we did
said,
it. Hmm.
"Yeah, yeah." Freak Show said we should write a guide about this. It'll be better than that guy's anyways. And then the conversation kind of died there for a few minutes, and then Freak Show came back and said, "I nominate Grunt," and I got this.
He's
Then
got it.
2 hours later, I tweeted a screenshot of the whole outline that I had planned for it, which only took like 5 minutes, anyways,
Right.
and just tweeted to him, "This is happening," and it
Yeah,
has been.
which
It
is really
started as a
funny.
total joke, and I'm taking it dead serious right now.
And that's I like when things start off like as a joke and then they can turn into something cool or serious at the same time.
Right.
Which, like I said, got me thinking about future content. And I was talking to Grunt about this before we started this podcast about what we could write in the future. As of the past, how many months has it been? Probably like 6 or 7 months. We've been focusing primarily on video games. That was because the original design that we had, the original tone that we were going for, and topics we were hitting on was kind of broad and in too many categories. If you've been here since the beginning, we did video games, movies, and music. We used to do like songs of the week, and we used to review movies when we went and saw them. And then the problem I ran into with that in my mind, and in a couple of different things that I noticed was uh, being that segmented without a following or without a true audience didn't really help. So what we
Mm.
decided to do was focus on games, the stuff we were the most familiar with, thing that how we met, pretty much just who we were, and the thing we liked the most out of all of that. So we've been
Right.
writing about that for the past, I'd say easily 6 months or more. And it'd really been kind of like news and opinion pieces is mostly what we had done. And I'd say it even got further into opinion pieces more than it did anything else,
Yeah. Yeah.
which isn't,
Because
it's not a bad thing.
yeah, it was interesting for me because I never really wrote opinion pieces. Before I started writing for you, I was writing on a smaller independent gaming news site, which was out of the UK, apparently.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, but they were mostly news, and all of that stuff. So I'd be posting that. So moving from that to Frantic Talks, it was definitely quite interesting. I was a little nervous, you could say.
Hmm. So
So
yeah, we've started to brand it as opinion, even though we've only published once under that, which was the World War II uh, piece that you wrote that had a lot of good feedback. If you haven't read that yet, it's basically just saying we need to go away from mech suits for a little bit and go back to iron sights. It's the greatest way I can think to summarize that, but
it's pretty good summary, I think. It's
spot
basically
on.
what I think.
But it got me thinking
Spot
about
on, Guardian.
spot on, Guardian. Got me. I can't do it. Really, I can't.
I can't believe I just did that. Oh my god.
Oh man. No, but seriously, it got me thinking about our future content, and I was thinking, what if we started doing how-tos and maybe walkthroughs of stuff that we had done in the games? Like, if the weekly Nightfall mission is like this week, it was the brothers, the Bond brothers, who want to blow up the dreadnought with their ship. We figured out you just have to go in with the right weapons, which are just arc-based weapons because it's arc burn, and then you have to at the end of you really just have to fight through stuff. There's really no trick to anything until you get to the bosses, and at the bosses you just got to kill all the ads immediately or you're gonna die. That's the best way to
Scions
describe it.
especially.
The scions especially because they have arc-based weapon or arc-based damage, which will hurt you more. So all you have
Right.
to do is kill all them, and then you just have to dodge the guy who jumps at you long enough to burn him down, and then the other dude's pretty simple to kill. And we beat the Nightfall in like in one try with Grunt, Freak Show, and I, but we Freak Show and I did it with someone earlier. His name was Kutch. We've mentioned him before. He was just he was a guy we found in the looking for group in LFG. So we did it with him. It took us a couple of tries because we didn't know, but we figured it out pretty simply, and that could be something we could how to. And there's other things we could do, like when I was trying to explain how to do the super slide in Halo 5. That could have been something we did. I wrote a quick how to on.
All right.
But
Which I'm
that's
totally disappointed they removed that.
Yeah, they removed it, and I'm upset about that. So I have to go back to my old controller scheme and relearn it. But anyways, so if you guys would actually be interested in that at all, if you're listening to this and you think us doing how-tos would be really cool, let us know. You can tweet at us, like I said earlier. I forgot to mention the Frantic Talks official Twitter account, which is at frantic_talks. You can tweet at us there. You can tweet at us individually. Let us know what games you wanted us to do if we were to do this. It is
Yep.
still something we are trying to figure out. But the other things that we have talked about before and will be doing here in the near future are the opinion pieces, which will continue to go because those tend to get really good feedback, whether it's negative or positive. Because people just like to hear opinions, I think, especially when they're unique enough to where it's like, this is the general viewpoint, but what about this? An alternative viewpoint. And
Right.
then the other thing that we haven't done yet that we will be doing are basically retrospectives. So think of it in Grunt. You could tell them about Mech Assault 2, the game you were going to talk about.
It's a game I've been thinking about a lot lately. Uh, you know, the whole when Frantic came to me with the ideas of the opinion pieces and the retrospectives a while back ago, he said the opinion pieces were pretty self-explanatory, and they are. The retrospectives are his idea, not ours. I can't claim that idea.
No, I don't.
Copyright it. Copyright it.
I'm not going to copyright that.
But his idea for it was we take and look back at older games that we really enjoyed and were revolutionary for either the gaming industry or maybe the system they were on or something they had to do. So we can take and we can for example use Halo 2. It was very revolutionary for Xbox Live because it kicked it off. It made Xbox Live what it is now. I don't think you can really argue that point. I mean, if you can, I want to hear a good argument,
I'd
please.
love to hear a very good argument. I'm open all ears.
Yeah. But a game I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I've even wanted to go back and play it, has been Mech Assault 2 Lone Wolf. It was second game in the Mech Assault, hence why it has 2 in the title.
Hmm.
Um, when I look at the game, it's not necessarily revolutionary for anything. Sure, it had online multiplayer, but it came out a couple months after Halo 2 did. So when you're comparing it to that, it didn't do much of anything. It was just, to me, it was just downright fun to play. And it had couple other modes. It had like a very early version of Halo's Firefight or Gears of War's Horde mode, and stuff like that is what makes it fun to me and why I really enjoy it. So
Right. And that would be something we would write about. In my mind, a game I would write about would be like one I've been playing recently, Tony Hawk's Underground 2. Just it isn't going to be anything like console specific, like we were talking Halo 2. Uh, it would just be like you were saying, games that we really enjoyed and things. They were game changers
Right.
in many sense of the words. But another thing it could be would be it could be like underrated titles that never saw too much of the light of day. Like Mech Assault 2 could have been hugely overshadowed by Halo 2 at the time. We'd have to do some research, which is fine. That's but if you don't do
That.
research when you're writing, that wouldn't be very good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I'm into research.
yeah, I definitely love learning more. I don't sit and watch YouTube videos that teach me things for nothing. So that's not a joke. But it's another thing that we would definitely want to start writing about. I know most of you would have interest in that. If for some reason you think that's a bad idea, let us know. But for the most part, it would just kind of be a nostalgia fueled writing time where we would just kind of write through what we loved about it, what was great about it, and looking back, what was wrong with it, and maybe trying to sit and criticize the games that we've heralded as the greatest games ever, you know?
Oh yeah.
And it would be a lot of fun. And I like the idea of doing it, and I think it just would be really fun to do. And
Oh yeah.
we could talk a little bit,
Definitely.
have a bunch of different articles we could write. So we could honestly we could do the Halo series.
Oh yeah.
Halo 3 is almost 10 years old. It's really weird to think about that.
God, it is.
It's 9 years old. It come like November of this year, but
Yep.
still, it's almost been 10 years. That is crazy to me.
Uh, and
Uh,
that's the first Halo game I ever got to play online. I missed Halo 2's Prime, even though it really didn't have a an end date as to when it was popular online. People still played it. More probably just about as much as they did Halo 3, I would say.
I played a little bit of Halo 2 online. I got most of my Halo 2 experience from split screen and system link parties back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
but I did get a chance to play a little bit of Halo 2 online. But this was after Halo 3 was out, so I played it on the 360 when my buddy was still stuck with his old Xbox, like original.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the majority of my time playing on there. It was still fun, don't get me wrong. It was just Halo 3 was out, and it was like that's what everybody's playing. So,
Right.
um, yeah, so that will be what we're going to end up doing here soon. I know we haven't really written too much in the past, honestly, almost 2 months since the New Year, since like Christmas and everything. We haven't really written too much. I know Grunt, we've done your opinion article, and I think you had one more in January. And I know
Mm.
on the Magic side, Luke wrote about a new version of one of the formats we would play. I have like one or two articles I have been working on, but they are just stuck in limbo to the point of where I'm like, I don't know where to go with this. So I want to apologize up front that I haven't published anything besides podcasts for the past like 2 months. That is not my quota. Shouldn't count. But anyways, you should be expecting that. And I mentioned before I wanted to get a new version of the website out. It is still sitting on the back burner in terms of progress since like a month ago. It's far along. It's just it hasn't gotten here yet. So hopefully I can get some wheels turning on that again. Um,
It's coming, we promise.
it is. I promise it will come. New content, new look, new design, lots of new fun stuff. It will come. Just gotta find the right time and other things, resources. That's the word I was looking for. But anyways,
Yeah.
um, so we might end up falling short here of our time normally, which is okay. We've gone over plenty on previous episodes, but I have one more thing to talk about that was something it came up this week in my mind because of what I've been watching. Um, so I just started watching the show called Sword Art Online. Now, if you're familiar with that, it is an anime. Oh, if you're not familiar with it, it's an anime, and it's based in 2023, and the first season goes from 2023 to 2025, and I think maybe 2026. I don't honestly remember. I want like the last episode of the first season. The basis of it is there's this big MMO game that gets created, and virtual reality VR headsets are how it's played. And the VR headset is super advanced, like it's what is that, like 7 years from now, 7 years advanced essentially. The series was
Mm.
made back in 2012, so it was actually about 10 years advanced from that time. So
Yeah.
details, details, details. But anyways, um, this VR thing can like read your brain waves and stuff, and so when you get into the VR world, basically if you wanted to say raise my right hand, like your brain would send a signal to your arm to move your right hand. And how this gear works, this VR equipment works, it stops your real body from doing it and still does it in the real game. So you can run around and do crazy stuff while literally just laying in your bed, not at all moving. Um, Sounds kind of weird if you think about it, because if someone came in on you playing a video game, you'd just be lying motionless on the bed without being able to hear anybody telling you to log out or get out for dinner. So it could be a little weird, but um, how the
It
game
definitely would be.
yeah, so since
Definitely would
it's
be weird.
so infused in your brain, the guy who creates the game gets everybody to log in on the first day, and it's like 10,000 users log on the day of the release day, and then they find out they can't log out because he's disabled the log out feature and has trapped them in the game. And so that basically means that they're stuck in this game, and he says you can't get out until you win. Oh, and by the way, if you die, the headset will kill you because it's connected to your brain. And then everybody freaks out, and that starts the whole series. And this goes on for about 2 years. Like they're living in this game for 2 years basically. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but what it got me thinking about, because how it works is they're all stuck in this game, and then they start just kind of living in the game. There are characters who literally live their own like life fishing and selling stuff without having ever leveled up. That's what they do. Some characters do that. So it got me thinking. Been playing Destiny a lot with Grunt and with Freak Show, and it, for lack of a better term, it is an MMO game. So when I made my most recent hunter character, which was literally last night, this is when I had this thought. I made my hunter last night, and I made it a female hunter. I had a male warlock and male titan, and I was like, sure, I'll go down the female route to be a hunter, whatever. I made my character, and then I'm running around the tower after getting like level 3, and I'm sitting here thinking about Sword Art Online because I had literally just finished watching an episode before I got on. And I was like, if I was in Sword Art Online and it was actually Destiny, take the whole premise of the show and say it's Destiny. If I'm running around as this character right now, um, I'm not role playing. I wouldn't be role playing how it is currently. I have an Xbox One controller in my hand and a very small headset on my head, to where that is as involved in the game as I am. I'm looking at my character, causing them to do things. But if someone comes up to me and tries to make my acquaintance in any way whatsoever, it would not be a way that you would imagine, or at least in my mind, I wouldn't imagine it. So if I'm sitting at a bar and someone walks up and says, "Hey, how you doing?" I would talk to them as myself. If someone comes up to me in this video game and says, "Hey, how you doing?" I either one will ignore them, or two, not really say anything besides say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing fine, whatever." And it's because I'm not antisocial. That's just how I would react probably. It's because I'm not as involved in this game. So when you take it to the matter of virtual reality, where you're literally walking as this person, at least your brain thinks that's what's happening. How different would that be? And I think in my mind, it wouldn't be a sense of role playing, or I mean, it would be a sense of role playing, is what I mean. I would be fully immersed in this character. Now, what I didn't mention about Sword Art Online is that they create their characters, and then when he reveals you're trapped in the game, the kit has scanned their body and made their real body what they are in the game. So people who started as like girls changed into boys, and then there's this hilarious scene where this guy goes, "You're not a 12-year-old girl, you're not a 17-year-old boy," and they're like both like 30-year-old dudes, and it's really funny. But
Oh my god.
it's really freaking funny. But it just got me thinking about the future of games in terms of virtual reality, and I fully believe that it honestly will get to that point to where the headsets and everything will be able to fully immerse you to the point of where you couldn't tell the difference between reality and the game, besides literally knowing that you are in a video game, to where you could literally be somebody else. And people mention a lot in video games, in video game like controversies more than anything, that video games are an escape to another world, a way to get away from your problems you have in real life and go somewhere where you could be like a god or something among people, based on the character you've leveled or something like that.
Mhm.
And so I think it's something to consider once we start moving towards virtual reality, which we kind of already are. If that became a reality where they're able to immerse you so much to where, like I said, you can't tell the difference, how much of a concern would that be? Because how I see it, social interactions have changed a lot since the invention of smartphones, just based on my personal interaction with people around me. I find that I'm on my phone pretty often. When I'm sitting with a group of people I tend to talk to a lot about things I enjoy. I tend to be on my phone more often than not. And is that a result of me being antisocial in a sense, or is it a result of just being able to have a distraction the moment my mind wanders? So take that thought and apply it to like VR. Could it possibly be something to where people would stay in these games and never leave because they were literally just living them? Is that something? It's something to think about in my mind, at least, and I definitely would want to hear other opinions on it. Obviously, I've watched 20 episodes of an anime, and I'm no expert, but I don't know. It's something interesting I was thinking about, and it's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
something I would think is a concern.
it's an interesting. There. Okay, let's try that again. It's an interesting topic.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought. I mean, I don't know that.
And who knows how different it is in terms of probably the first game that attempts to do this, like attempts to do a fully immersive, you know, placing you in a
Right.
game. It's probably different considering the fact that they won't be sentenced to death if you actually die. So that'll be a little different, I would imagine. But I
Yeah.
still
Well,
don't think that would subtract from it too much.
yeah. To some extent, we already have games that are like that. If you look at The Sims, that you
Yeah.
can create your own character. It's not virtual reality and all that, where
Hmm.
you're in the game physically almost, but you can create your own character and make them basically whatever you want.
Yes, you can. Ooh,
So
excuse me. And so when thinking about that versus virtual reality, I think the very distinct difference is um, you aren't actually that character.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
downside to that comparison.
yeah.
So
But even in games where you are, like in the World of Warcraft or in Destiny, where you're controlling these characters, you know, it goes back to the initial thought I had, where it's like I'm not this character, I'm controlling this character.
right,
Which in virtual
exactly.
reality, you are the character, and I think that's where it could lead to something truly amazing. Like who knows where that will go. I can't think of anything besides like a real virtual city becoming like an actual player in like world economy or something crazy like that. Who knows what could happen with that?
Oh yeah,
But that's just something to think about. Like it's probably years away from happening. Like I said, the show is based in 2023, so we'd have 7 years before that would become a reality if the show is correct. But
yeah.
it,
Virtual reality technology is already here, so
yeah,
maybe
and
it's
we
not that far off.
at the rate we've advanced our technology, I could see it coming quickly, and I mean very quickly. Before you know it, it'll probably be here. So
Just have to have like a $1,500 PC to run the stuff. So
that is also true. Could be an issue. I'm not going to sit here and say that VR stuff is not cheap. I mean,
oh no, oh no,
there's a reason only 10,000 people were doing it in the game. It's probably because it was so expensive, but who knows?
oh yeah,
That
different
is
subject again.
once again, yeah, different subject. But that's basically all I got at this point. We were actually about, if I'm looking at my clock here, about 10 minutes behind or short of our time limit. I can't think of words right now. What
Words are hard, man.
do you got anything that you want to talk about real quick, or you want to end it 10 minutes early? I'll let you go free.
Oh, you mean I'm not shackled to a desk yet? So
Soon.
soon. Oh, soon. All right, all right, all right. Then I see how it is.
Oh man. If you're listening, you didn't hear that. That didn't actually just happen. Edit that out. Write a note. Yep, there we go. Uh, yeah. So I'm gonna do advertising really quick just to get our names out there
Yeah,
for anybody.
I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay,
So
that's fine. Once again, if you want to find us, you can find me on Twitter at FranticJ3. You can find Grunt on Twitter at Onyx Spartan. Onyx spelled Onyx. For some reason, he's not at Stored Grunt, but that's okay. He
I was one
was.
time.
But anyways, um, you can find the Frantic Talks official Twitter account at frantic_talks. And you can find us at the mothership, which is frantictalks.com, if for some reason you couldn't find us anywhere else, which is totally understandable. That's where all our podcasts are posted, along with the articles we write, and yeah, just those two things. I don't know why I kept going. There's also the magic side of it, though, magic.frantictalks.com, if you are interested in Magic the Gathering. I hope you are. It's a wonderful game. And then there is our Facebook page, facebook.com/frantic talks, all one word. And last but not least, if you want to catch this streamed live every Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, you can go to twitch.tv/FranticJ3 the third. Third is the number 3 RD, not actually spelled out. And like I said, that's every Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern. You will see me, and you will see Grunt. Hopefully he waves. Yep, they waved.
It's gonna happen every week.
Yep. And I know, well, quick tidbit, he can't actually see me when we record this because of how the recording works, so I actually waved, and I was hoping that you did the same, and it worked perfectly.
Yeah, all I see is your picture you're using for this. So,
Yeah, it's unfortunate that it works that way. But anyways, yep, Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. I tend to post these on Sunday or Monday. It's been Monday recently due to a busy Sunday schedule. It is looking like it might be that again, unfortunately, but you will hear it either Sunday or Monday if you have yet to catch us live. So I am Frantic,
I'm Grunt.
and we will catch you next time, guys.
Double wave.
Double wave.